Hello, everybody. It's been a little bit. I now have this to show you that I got off Facebook Marketplace the other day. This is a Compaq Presario 4402. This is an all-in-one computer. Now, by all-in-one, it's very interesting. So you got speakers, you get your monitor, and the computer down here. And if you look at it from the side or the back, it's really just a monitor and a desktop tower fused together. And on the back, monitor outputs, speakers, and things, they hook up down here, and then you just have a tower. So we're going to take a look at this. We're going to do a teardown. It obviously needs, the seller said it was cleaned. It was cleaned not very well. I do have the original keyboard and mouse for it as well over here, which we will clean up and take a look at. I don't know if I'll get this all done in one night, but this may be a multi-part video. We'll see how this goes. Maybe I'll just edit it all into one, depending on how long it is. But let's get it cracking and let's tear this thing apart and see what's inside of it. All right, now I do know that this system does work. Zoom in a little bit since we're going to focus on the bottom part first. I do know that it works. It does boot up. It should not boot an operating system, and it should have a bad optical drive. I have verified both. The optical drive does make noise, and it powers on, and that's as far as I've gotten. So supposedly there's a hard drive in here. There should also be an OS, possibly on that hard drive, hoping it's original. So this should come out. Oh, I need to remove this screw as well. Okay. And those should be removed. We should just be able to pull this handle. Does it come all the way out? Oh, sure does. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll take the PC part out and we'll take a look at that. We'll see if we can't fix that optical drive. And then we'll go ahead and put it back in and bring the CRT in later. Plus, it'll make cleaning up easier. Let me move this out of the way for right now, and I'll get those switched out. And then I'll come back when that's done, and we'll take a look at the motherboard. All right, so here's the tower part of it. This seems to be very interesting. We have a modem card of some kind. Looks like it's a Compaq. It does have an AT&T chipset on it. Looks like we have some EDO capable RAM in here. I really don't want to break these plastic clips. Those feel very brittle. We're going to leave that alone. There's a soldered clock battery that I was told by the seller is dead, so we'll have to redo that. Otherwise, it looks like a fairly standard Pentium board. But look, CPU should be under there. There's your RAM. I think if this is factory, which it looks like it might be, 16 megabytes. Supposedly there's a hard drive in here somewhere. The floppy drive and everything is very dirty, so we will go ahead and dismantle this and see if we can't clean those up. So I'm just going to start tearing into this thing. Let's get that modem part out of there first. So there's your modem. Oh, perfect. Yeah, it looks like all this is from 1996. There's the back. And there's the front of the modem. So it looks like it's our factory guy that would have came in this machine. And we can see we have an S3 Trio video card or graphics adapter on there. Trying to document this thing really well. I've only seen a couple of these. I think Action Retro did a video, and then I've only ever seen a couple of these online. So fairly uncommon system, it appears. So let me go ahead and see if I can find some information on how to get everything out of here before I go any further. I would imagine that this needs to come out and then we can start releasing stuff, but I just want to make sure because I do not want to break anything in this machine. That'd be something else holding this down. Oh my goodness, if that tells you that the seller cleaned it, they definitely didn't. um, all right, that sucker's really in there. Let's see if there's another way to get that out. Yeah, usually this looks like it would slide, but those rails are in the way, so I have to like bend that to get that out, or oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay. There's our CD drive. We'll clean that up. It sounds like it's stuck. I'm guessing the band broke. That's not a great sign. Hopefully it's just surface rust. But we'll take that apart. We'll see if we can fix that. And then here's our hard drive. It looks to be a Mac store. Guessing it's just the two screws on this side, and then that should slide out. This is a 1.6 gig drive, so this should be an all original computer. Missed a screw. Okay, there's that, and our floppy drive out. We can clean those up. I'm getting this hard drive out of here. All right, I just need to block the camera a little bit. There's the hard drive. I'll get some rags to clean all this up with. We'll test that separately. We'll test the whole computer separately while I got it down, but I'm gonna go get some rags to clean everything out. I don't want to move too much of this because I need to know how to put it back together. But overall, the capacitors that are on the board look okay. There's a couple right there. So I think this board is in good shape. Obviously it operates, so should be fine. I'll probably order some caps because I've got a couple other computers I got to do. But this should be fine. So I'll go get some cleaner and stuff. We'll get this wiped out, and then we will test the computer portion of this separately. And then we'll go ahead and move on to putting it all back together and in all-in-one form. So I'll be right back. All right, so I'm not sure where my rags went. Ooh, bumped the camera there. So I got a Swiffer duster and some paper towels, but this should work for now to clean this out. And then I'll go ahead and hit it with a better cleaning another time. Go get a. Really need to invest in one of those air blower things. So let me put the air purifier on this in the room while I do this. Okay. So we'll go ahead and not the greatest method of cleaning, but I'm not sure where my microfiber towels and stuff are. So yeah, I mean it's doing something there. So that's fine. Really just need to use some strong compressed air on this, so which I don't have access to at the moment. All right, we've now got a degrimed keyboard, some more paper towel. So let's get a monitor connected to this bad boy. All right, I'll move you guys over to the monitor and we can take a look over there. Let me put you guys back in the EV910 here. And let's get this guy powered on. Let's see what she can do. So in theory, it should boot right up. Yep. All right, there we go. Maybe. Okay, yep, we do have 16 megabytes of RAM. Following information. Coprocessor added. Diskette drives. It does have a coprocessor on board. That's pretty sweet. All right, let's F1. Interesting. It appears that it has frozen. Go ahead and reset it. See what happens. I really like this gateway monitor. It does a really good job for recording. And I can set my phone camera here to do it. It's got a little flicker, but it's not too bad. So could be worse. What is going on? That's the keyboard plugged into the keyboard port. Oh, it looks like it's got a little corrosion on it. Should still work though. Worst case, I'll try it. I got another keyboard here. So let's give it one more go. If not, it may just need a different keyboard. Okay, numlock is just stuck on. Let me get a different keyboard real quick and we'll try again. All right, let's try this keyboard. And if this works, we'll worry about the original peripherals when we get there. Don't need those right now to use the system, so. There goes our EV910. I used to have a couple other CRT monitors. Let me shut this light off. I used to have another couple CRT monitors. I gave them away at some point in time, and then this one that I got from a family member. So it's actually pretty nice. Oh, hey, this keyboard works. Okay, so it's just a keyboard problem. So maybe that is why the seller couldn't get into an OS, because maybe the keyboard wasn't working. Couldn't bypass that, and then he just gave up. So you know what I say? While it's open, let's go ahead and power it off real quick. Let's plug in that hard drive and see what happens. Is it going to boot? Oh, no, maybe it's not going to boot, actually. Okay, we may need a new battery then. F2 doesn't appear to do anything. Just get controller error. System options not set. Date and time not set. Huh. Okay, so we may actually have to all right, let's plug in the hard drive. Let's see what happens. We may have to figure out how to solder that a new RTC battery on there. Which isn't too bad. I've done that modification before. So, The long one goes down to the bottom drive. I don't smell anything funky coming out of the computer, which is good. Everything smells fine. Nothing's on fire, so that's good. Hard drive spin up. Sounds good. The drive is working. Okay. Yeah, that battery is spot welded on there. That's pretty cool. Hmm. You really can't do anything else? Huh. All right, let me look into this real quick. Let me see if we can get past this screen. All right, so I did some rejumpering. It looks like something's happening here. So let's see what happens. Oh, hey, F10 computer setup and F1 boot. Well, let's just send it. See what happens. Oh, okay. So we need an OS reinstall. That's fine. Let's see if we can't get in the BIOS. So I was reading, and some computer or some compacts from the era on this run it thing here say that it's built into the hard drive. So if it's been erased, most likely we won't have one of those. It's seeming very likely in this case. So we are going to have to recover this system. Yep. That or it's just not configured properly, but I would imagine this one should be fine. Can't get in the setup to reconfigure it, so that's a little inconvenient. Let's see here. Yeah, F10 is not doing anything. So that's not good. Okay. So we will continue wiping down the case. This does work. We'll see if we can fix that optical drive, and then we'll slap it all back in the all-in-one, and then we can look at going about this. Let me put this jumper that I took off back on and see if that changes anything. I'm too lazy to resolder this battery on there, so if we can just leave that jumper off for right now, then that's great. That will be excellent. I can live with that for right now. Not a big deal. It looks like that might cause the boot loop. Okay. So if you do have one of these compacts, sharing some information here. If you have one of these machines, if you take that little jumper next to the CMOS battery off and reboot a couple times, I'll show you here. So it's doing that loop thing. If you remove this, take that jumper, set it aside, you power the system back on without that jumper on there. Oh, my monitor's going crazy. All right, so then here we should be able to press F1 again, and then it should restart, and then we should be able to pass that screen. And then obviously to no boot devices found because, well, yeah, there you go. F1 to boot, F10 computer setup. F10 doesn't work, and there appears to be no OS on the drive. So I think we have successfully bypassed that. So we can carry on with cleaning this up and restoring that optical drive. All right, so I've engineered an optical drive tool from, I think, an old keyboard stabilizer or something. See if that works. Yep. It feels like it ejects okay. Um, hmm. It's really stuck on that side. Jeez. Okay. Oof, that's really weak. This side is like really latched in there. Really don't want to break it. There we go. Okay. That comes off. And we can kind of preview what we're working with. It's pretty gross inside. So it looks like the lid should come off if I undo these two screws. So we'll go ahead and do that. Let's see. Yep. Oh, she's pretty gross on the inside, just as I expected. There's your laser. See if the bearing's worn out. Doesn't feel like it. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly what our issue is here. Let me go ahead and take those off. The laser is dirty. Let me get a alcohol pad to clean that off with. And then we'll see if we can't revive that. Get a cotton swab real quick too. Brilliant thing about wireless microphones, so I can just take it with me. All right, let's go ahead and lightly clean that guy off. I would definitely pull some stuff out of there. Let's go ahead and clean out this whole tray with this wipe. This is going to be probably a Windows 95 system for me. So I think I only so far have a 98 disk. I think there's a recovery available for this drive online. I'll have to do some hunting. I really haven't looked at anything yet for this. I just want to see if it even works and if it's worth my time in investing into this, or if it's going to just sit in storage. But so far, it's looking like I might have a pretty good candidate of a restoration here. All right, let's go ahead and that feels like that's okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and whack that top cover back on for right now. Doesn't feel like the mechanism supposed to hold it is really doing its job, but you know, no matter what happens here, should be fine. So we're going to plug in this here. To the tower, plug that in, and then we'll plug in the computer in a minute. And let me grab a I have a Windows 98 SE installed disk here. So if the drive opens, we can shove that in there and try it out. Yeah. All right, that sounds like we may have some other issues with the disk drive. Huh. Well, the seller was not lying. The disk drive is not working. I just thought it wasn't opening. That sounds like we've got some bad gears in there. He said it made funny noises and didn't open. So I just thought, oh well. But nope, that sounds like we got something definitely major wrong with this thing. So. Oh, yep, there's your belt right there. I didn't even notice that before. There's your belt. So we should be able to either put that back on or replace it. I see where the eject tool goes. There we go. All right, so it looks like we're going to have to go a little further into this CD-ROM. It's okay. Worst case, if I can't fix it, it is probably just junk anyway, so it'll just become parts for other disk drives to keep those going. Let's see if I can't. Yeah, okay, so it's just off of that. Is there a way to get this out of here, or? Oh, there's our belt. Oh no, it is completely shot. Yeah, I don't see. Let's see if I can't. There we go. Got it. Tray's out. Yeah, it just needs a new belt. She'll be good as new. So I'm gonna go ahead and order a set of these drive belts on Amazon. I should be able to overnight them here for tomorrow, and then we will pick up on this project tomorrow. I'll just leave it all here, To you, it'll just be a continuation of the video, but to me, it will be the next day. So thank you for watching this part. I'll see you when we get the drive belt. All right, it is day 2, and you'll notice right there we got some new things for the drive. It's finally nice outside, so ignore any background noise you have. I have the windows open here to let some fresh air in to the place, finally. I also found a rag, so we can wipe off everything as well, which is really cool. So let me take a seat here, and let's get started. So we're going to go ahead and first up, we're going to want to replace the belt, and then we can test our optical drives. I'm plugging the power cord back in here. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this. Let me move the tripod slightly out of the way here. So I covered this up so it didn't get the laser all dusty last night. So here's our drive. I ordered this set of belts. If they work, I guess I'll link them, but really just order whatever operates for your thing. Let me get a knife here and slice this open. My knife is not very sharp. I need to resharpen that. Okay, let's see. So I probably want a very tiny one, but we will see. Nature noises are very strong today. Attempt to not spill these. There's 2 small ones in here. I'm guessing those are the 30 mils. And that should do it. If not, it looks like I do have one up from that size. But these are going to be not fun to get back in this bag. Okay, now that I finally got those put away, we can get to installing the belt. So here's your little motor. And here's our belt. I want to take this, go around the pulley. Looks like it's twisted here. Let me go ahead and let me get a flathead bit. Let's see if I can get that off of there here. There we go. That's the right setup. Okay, perfect. So we've got that new belt installed. So let's go ahead and slide our drive tray back in. Goes in this way. Get this up. I will go through and probably properly restore the system eventually. But I just want to clean it up and fix a couple things that are wrong with it so we can test it out and see if it even operates further. And then we'll go back through and clean everything up here. What are we hitting? Okay, there we go. Okay, Perfect. We are reconnected. Everything is put back in. So let's go ahead and pop this back up there, and let's see what happens when we power up the system. Hopefully it doesn't make any weird noises and just works. Move this out of the way because we can use that for cleaning. It's our old belt, which is trash at this point, and I've got a slightly larger one in case we need it. But if not, I'll put that one back away. That old belt is definitely no good. All right, let's power this up. Don't need a display anymore. Oh. Hey. There we go. CD drive's working. Or at least it ejects. Sweet. All right, I don't want to make this video too long, so let's go ahead and reassemble that, and then we will continue and clean out the floppy drive, and then put the thing back together and see if we can get an OS on it. And if we can get an OS, then we're off to the races. All right, so taking a look back at our CD drive here. Let's go ahead and reassemble this. So I believe we have to put the this thing back in. Crossbar here. There's a pin on that side. There's no. Go the other way. No, it definitely. Definitely goes this way. Oh, I see. The drive needs to be ejected. So just a little bit forward. And then now I should be able to. There we go. So I'll click back down, and then we'll go ahead and put our screws, which I believe are these. Yep. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and clean up the face plates while we're at it. Let me go get some cotton swabs and stuff, some more cleaning utilities, and then we'll keep going. All right, I've got some cotton swabs. So go ahead and clean off these mechanisms and stuff. Okay, perfect. All right, then we'll go ahead and get this faceplate cleaned up. we'll go ahead and use some spray. Just all-purpose cleaner. There you go. That's what was in that before. That's pretty gross. So now I should be able to just take a sheet of paper towel, spray it down, and then I'll just wipe that off with it. Whatever's on that plate's cleaning right off. So this system may actually not be as yellowed as I thought. It may just be so dirty that we can get it back to its original look. I'll try and clean off the shell too. Let me put it back together. This thing's just filthy. Yeah, I think it might actually clean up. I was having my doubts that this thing would come out to look super nice, but I think my concerns are slowly dwindling here. I think this thing might clean up pretty good, actually. Look at that. Inside real quick. All right. Call that good. Like I said, I'll do a proper restoration. Maybe not a video, or maybe I'll make it a video. I don't know. It takes me a lot of time to do things like this, and then filming them adds to make it take longer. And they don't tend to get too many views, so it's it's like that looks a lot better actually. All right, and then we'll take this. Don't want to wipe any of the labels off, but okay, sweet. So I'd say our optical drive ready to go back together. Pull this down. Cisco. Yeah, it goes like this. All right, there you go. I wasn't even in frame at all. That's fine. Anyway, just clip the front back on. Whoops. I really need to eventually do a better recording setup, but this is what I've got for right now, so gotta just work with it. Just a folding table in the corner that I set up when I need to record, and then I take it down when I'm done. Out of the way. All right, so there you go. And I'm going to put this front panel back on. Looks a million times better than it did before. Okay, now on to our floppy drive, which will be essentially a similar process. I forget how these come apart. Is it just... Okay, these just pull. All right, so the sides of this just pull. Took me a minute to figure that out. Sorry. And this should pull off too. Why are we not pulling? Get something to pry with better than my fingers here so I don't hurt myself on this metal. Okay, there we go. There's our bottom off. There's our top. And oh man, this thing is quite dirty inside. So give this a good cleanup. It looks like the bottom may not need too much of a cleaning. The PCB looks pretty clean. There's some dirt on this. This is a Mitsubishi drive, so probably a Matsushita. Try to just clean all this off. Probably just use my microfiber towel for this part. Yeah, there we go. That works a lot better. Okay, so that is done. You can see the airflow patterns through this, which is kind of cool. Oh. All right, there we go. That's cleaned up. All right, give me a second to get all my tools and stuff around, and then we'll continue on cleaning this. Okay, so I think I came up with a strategy on how we're going to do this. We're going to pull that out. Just kind of wipe some of the gunk off of that. This we're going to hit with the old Q-tip trick. Just going to reuse this dirty one that I already have. That's working quite well. Okay, so we'll clean the top part off. Excellent. There's a little push button. Take that, put that back in. That Q-tip is used up. fresh one. I'll go ahead and put the bottom back on. Oops, it goes this way. Okay, bottom's back on. Not frame again, huh? All right. Okay, then with a clean Q-tip, we're gonna clean the reed heads off. Wow, that's a bit gross. And then we'll just generally shape out the rest of the insides here. I'm not using any chemicals in here because I don't want to get them on anything. Okay, now we'll take another Q-tip and we'll clean the inside of the drive out. Oh, wow, this thing is gross. Let me see if I can. I don't want to break this door here. Whew. Wow, that is gross. Okay. I don't have any grease, so all right, that'll have to do. That looks pretty good. Let's make sure a disc can go in and out. And no dust falls on our disc. So objective hit. So we'll go ahead and put the lid back on here. There you go. And then we'll wipe that off. All right, there's that. So now we're going to clean the computer out and all of our boards here with the smoother side of the microfiber. Try not to generate too much static. Then we'll begin reassembly of the computer, and then we will completely test it out and see if we can get an OS on it. The OS video may not be this one. We may look at the software side of this in another video. Yeah, it won't be like 2 years till I upload again. I'll actually upload. So really just need to take some canned air or something. The problem is a lot of this dust though is like baked down here. So and maybe in the next video too, we'll take a look and see if I can't get a replacement for that clock battery. Okay, we'll call that good for right now. Let's get this back together. Let's get the actual computer itself cleaned up with the all-in-one part and the rear of the case here, and then we'll reassemble it, and then we'll see what we're doing. Also, this has been broken. I didn't notice that till yesterday when I was moving it around. I was like, oh, so we'll super glue that eventually. But let's get this cleaned up. All right, so what we'll do is we'll take a paper towel and some cleaner, like we did on the rest of the parts, and we'll just go around and wipe this all down. It's all just plastic, so it should clean up pretty nice. So a lot of the scuffing you can get off with a magic eraser. I don't have one, so that'll probably be next video. I'll have to go and get a magic eraser, but this will be okay for right now. That's relatively clean. Let's now turn our attention to this bad boy. We'll respray that same rag down, just in a different part, and we'll get to it on this thing. Oh my goodness. This is going to take a lot of scrubbing, but I can tell you it's going to look great when it's done, because that's what's coming off, and that's how it's starting to look. You can see the contrasting. I mean, heck, if I just clean that area, you can see there's a difference there. So we'll keep doing that. I'll probably go through the overall paper towels here, and when we're done, hopefully this thing looks better. So I'll put this part in like time lapse or something, hopefully. All right, so we're just going to use the camera audio for this part. Let's go ahead and power it on. Hopefully I don't die while flipping the power switch here. Here we go. Adjust the shutter speed. See if we can get this to boot, and then I'll find some recovery online and see if we can't get this computer fully operational again. Date and time not set. All right, let's see if it can. Let's see if the front controls work. Curious. Sure do. Let's flip this light off. Yeah, that's better. CRT may need to be repaired, but I do have somebody who can do that for me, most likely. Yeah, this knob's a little sticky. But otherwise, there it is. It's working. So that overall is the Compaq 4402 all-in-one desktop. We now have a working that drive, and this isn't a boot disk, but I bet you if we put a floppy in here, it does try to read from it. So I don't know if that will I don't know if that'll hold up, but yep. So there you go. There's the Compaq Presario 4402 for you. I'll have some more videos on this. Hopefully we can do some recovery and go from there. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.